Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. And if there is a theme to today's World of Tanks video, that theme is most definitely what the hell did I just watch? Today's video comes with a Surgeon General's health warning. Viewer discretion is advised. Watching today's World of Tanks epic fail video may cause permanent damage to your brain cells, leading to permanent and irreversible lowering of your IQ. You have been warned. The first replay in the Sparpanzer 1C was not actually submitted by the guy driving the Sparpanzer 1C. It was in fact submitted by the AT-15 on the enemy team, who could not believe what he was watching towards the end of this match, and when you see it, you'll understand. The beginning of the match, pretty unremarkable. The light tanks rush the middle ridge for some early spots on enemy tanks, pretty much exactly the same way it happens during most battles in Prokhorovka. The one remarkable thing is the M41 Bulldog over there in the magic bush, who doesn't understand that the bush only stays magic as long as you don't fire your gun through it. So there's the first casualty of the match. Now, our friend in the Sparpanzer does have a couple of remarkably lucky incidents during the course of this match before things go down to the wire at the end of the game. First, he takes a hit in the side from an IS-3 shooting at him from the hill. And all it does is damage, not destroy, it just damages his tracks. Later on in the match, with the scores pretty much neck and neck between the two teams, it's starting to get a bit too close for comfort up on the ridgeline in the centre of the map, with the enemy heavies pushing right up to the edge of the ridge. And with the hill lost, he moves into the town in order to try to start spotting some of the enemy tanks up on the hill. And that's when he has his second stroke of luck, as he does get spotted by the tanks on the hill, and a Super Pershing takes a shot at him and bounces off his turret. However, with the hill firmly in enemy hands and at least two enemy tanks up there, he's now stuck in this spot in the village. Any attempt to break cover, he's going to get spotted by the guys on the hill and murdered in a crossfire. So he's stuck in this spot for a good 3 minutes from this point on. Finally, with the enemy team ahead, he decides he's just going to have to man up and hope he can get out of there without taking any damage. And that doesn't actually work out too well for him. So, now he's on 108 health, and he's valiantly racing across the field on Prokhorovka in an attempt to save that Jagdpanther from the Carnarvon. And that's when disaster strikes and a T-10 comes over the ridge right in front of him. And this is where we get a little foretaste of what's about to come. 2 shots left in the magazine. The Jagdpanther's down. First shot misses the T-10. He's not going to kill him with one shot, so he goes for the reload. And that's when artillery shaves off most of the health of the T-10, so now he can kill him with one shot, except he's committed to the reload. And the T-10 knows it too. He comes after him and misses. But wait, it gets better. He kills the T-10. 2 shots left in the magazine. Super Pershing, over there somewhere. There's just him on 108 health and his artillery left against the 212A, who already has 4 kills, a T-44 and that Super Pershing. Shortly afterwards he's reloaded, and he's got some great side shots at this Super Pershing as it closes in and finishes off the artillery, leaving the Sparpanzer as the last tank left alive on his team. And with 108 health and 3 enemy tanks to kill, he decides to attack. Which isn't that bad an idea if you can come across them one at a time. And there's the Super Pershing, 1 shot. Shot just whizzed by him and hit the road. That's the T-44. Oh, this is not good. It took 3 shots to kill the Super Pershing, and now he's reloading. But, well, it's not actually that bad, because just watch this T-44. He's already missed him once. And he's missed him twice. Artillery has missed both of them. And he's almost reloaded. T-44's missed him a 3rd time. There's 1 shot. There's 2 shots. And just before the T-44 can reload, there's 3 shots. And he's dead too. So all that remains is to find the artillery. And he almost fluffs it by stopping in front of the 212A, but gets away with it and kills the artillery as well. Now, I know a lot of you out there do like to check out the ratings of the guys that are featured in my World of Tanks videos, and on this occasion I'm going to save you the trouble. The guy in the Sparpanzer 1C who just ran rings around a T-44 and the Super Pershing has a WN8 rating of 597. And yes, I'm fully aware that that's bad, but let's cut him some slack, guys. He just had the game of his life. And yeah, his stats might be bad now, but they are getting better, and that's what's important. And let's not forget, of course, the other thing to take away from that replay is that the enemy team managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of certain victory by getting their asses handed to them by somebody with a 597 WN8 rating. And that's equally important, and perhaps more importantly, it's also funny. Next up, we've got one from Rita Gamer. Now, I'm sure most of you probably know who Rita Gamer is, but just on the off chance that you don't, links to all of her relevant websites down below in the video description. This, once again, on Prokhorovka, but we're going to down tier it slightly. Rita's in the KV1. And she racks up an impressive tally of kills on this match, but that's not really the funny part. That comes at the end of the match, but we're going to watch the kills anyway. Here we go. Kill number 1, coming right up. Coming in at number 1, we have what turns out to be a kill steal on an M3 Lee, just as somebody else takes most of his health off. With the team losing 5-11, she finishes off a low health T-34 for kill number 2. 2 shots later, she claims kill number 3 by finishing off a low health Excelsior, also loitering around in the middle of the field. Kill number 4, however, is all her as she completely obliterates a South 40 spotted crossing the railway line in the centre of the map. She's going to have to work slightly harder for kill number 5. The scores are 9-13, there's only her and an M7 with the team kill to his name left alive on her team. They're chasing down a Matilda when she starts to take some fire from a pair of light tanks to the rear. She leaves the Matilda to the M7, focuses down the VZ-38. Realising that the Panzer 1C can't actually hurt her, she turns around to deal with the Matilda. But the M7's vindicated himself, killed the Matilda, before succumbing to fire from a hidden Su-85B. And this is when she makes a beautiful shot at a moving Panzer 1C at long range and claims kill number 6. Realising that the shot that killed the M7 actually came from behind, she heads back to the base, where she's very surprised to find a Valentine not actually sitting in the cap circle. She puts a shot into the Valentine, and that's when the Su-85B pops up. With the Su-85B definitely being the most dangerous target between the two, she prioritises him for kill number 7, and then finishes off the Valentine at her leisure for kill number 8. And that just leaves the enemy artillery. She seeks him here, she seeks him there, but she cannot find that bloody artillery anywhere. And so she decides that the best way to flush him out is to go and sit in the cap circle, threaten to win by capping, and leave the next move up to the artillery. And so with Rita capping, unsurprisingly, it turns out that Artie's next move is to start randomly dropping shells into the cap circle. And that's when Rita has her cunning plan. They say lightning never strikes the same place twice. Well, they're talking utter bollocks. Of course it does. Artillery in World of Tanks, on the other hand, very, very rarely strikes the same place twice, particularly when it's randomly dropping shells around a cap circle, trying to, just by luck, hit a tank that it can't actually see. Finally, completely sick of missing by now, and with absolutely no other option because Rita's about to win by capping, the artillery makes his presence known. And this is where Rita gets kill number 9, finishes off the last tank on the enemy team, and caps to 100, earning a hatful of medals, all for one low, low price. Now, it's not often I feature an artillery replay in World of Tanks, and I don't do that because I hate artillery, though I don't like artillery very much. I do it because, unless something goes spectacularly wrong with an artillery replay, they're rarely very interesting to watch. Well, don't worry, something goes spectacularly wrong in this artillery replay. This artillery platoon racks up a pretty impressive tally of kills in this match, some of them completely by accident, like that kill on the T-49 as he was aiming for the T-32. But don't worry, they do, between the two of them, manage to get the T-32 as well. He's not getting away either. This is a bit of a kill steal, I have to admit, but hey, it's one less tank on the enemy team. Unfortunately, it's kind of at this stage where things start going horribly, horribly wrong, as promised. They've just lost the last actual tank on their team, and now it's the 2 artillery alone against 3 mediums, 2 of them tier 9, and an E75. What, oh what, is an artillery player to do? Well, time to put your man pants on and activate the shotgun. There goes the Type 61. Oh, it's a Centurion. Now, did he see me? Well, it turns out he did, but it's not the M12 he needs to worry about. It's the M53 going shotgun mode on his ass that takes the Centurion out, and here comes the E50. Now, we know the E50 has to be alone because somebody's capping, which means the E75 is sitting in the cap circle. And if it worked against the Centurion, it might work against the E50 as well. So the M53 is playing come hither. He's like, here I am, come shoot me, come shoot me. So he does come and shoot him. And then the M12 pops out. Shotgun! Oh dear. How can something so incredibly wrong feel so good? Of course, that leaves the E75 in a very unenviable position. Just a couple of seconds ago, his team outnumbered these guys 2-1, and now he's the one outnumbered 2-1. Still, it's not like either of these guys aren't an easy kill for an E75. And this is where, well, I want to call it a plan so cunning you could stick a tail on it and call it a fox, but it's pretty bloody obvious actually. They know exactly where the E75 is, and his gun can only be pointing in one direction at a time. So they split up, wish each other luck, time their approach on the cap circle to happen at exactly the same time from two different directions. The E75's gun can only be pointing in one direction. He kills the M53, and the M12 shotguns him right in his big fat stupid German arse. And in case you weren't completely sure what you just saw, let me spell it out for you. That's an artillery platoon on a city map getting 11 kills. That's one short of a crucial contribution. Not quite sure what that's doing in an epic fail video, unless it's the enemy team, but it was amusing and I wanted to show it. In today's final replay, we have Snakebite 3 in an assault on the Siegfried line in the Object 704 Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer. I like the Object 704, it's a very good machine. It does of course have that monstrous BL-10 troll cannon, exactly the same as the ISU-152. I think the ISU's more fun because it's Tier 8 and it gets this gun. But it's a better gun on the Object 704, and the Object 704 is a better machine. Armour, very trollish. It's not that thick, but it's got a really good gun mantlet, and the frontal armour is very nicely sloped. Now the thing that you have to remember at all times about the BL-10 troll cannon is that while it is a devastatingly powerful gun, it's called the troll cannon not just because of what it does to the enemy. Sometimes this gun trolls you just as hard. This, however, is not one of those replays. The troll cannon is remarkably well behaved throughout the course of this battle. This match is most definitely an epic fail for all kinds of reasons, but it's got nothing to do with the performance of the troll cannon, or at least it's got nothing to do with the performance of Snakebite 3's troll cannon on the Object 704. He's clearly sent the required number of political dissidents to the Gulag before this match. He's going to fire 14 shots, all 14 are going to hit, which is pretty good for a machine with .39 accuracy, and all 14 are going to penetrate. No, the fail in this match is going to come from a couple of very unexpected directions. Anyway, he's assaulting the Siegfried line. Took up a position commanding the centre approach to the town, didn't see anything. Switches position, plenty of enemy tanks still over on the flank. First shot fired. That'll do. This gun, by the way, has 286mm of penetration and 750 average damage. Now, that is balanced somewhat by the horrible aiming time and the horrible accuracy, but remember this is a Russian anti-tank gun, and as long as you've sacrificed the correct number of political dissidents to the Gulag, the hand of Stalin will reach up from the burning pit of hell and guide your shot to the target, and with 286mm of penetration, there's very little chance you're going to bounce off the side of a T-71. 705 damage, that's a below average damage roll for this gun, but well. Oh, and this shot, by the way, remember, post-battle stats will clearly indicate that of the 14 shots that he fired, 14 hit and 14 penetrated, so that one hit and did damage as well. Which in all likelihood means that that AMX 5100 is now a one-shot kill for the next tank that comes across him. Next up, a Rheinmetall Borsig. Again, 286mm of penetration is going to be overkill for that thing. It's a very sneaky tank destroyer with a very powerful gun, but it's not exactly a very well armoured tank destroyer. And, yep, he's not in a very good mood now, either. Took a hit from somebody else as well. I think it's entirely likely they know that somebody with a really big gun is shooting at them from the centre of the town by now. And yet, despite all of the damage that Snakebite 3 is putting out, his team are losing 3 to 4. He hasn't actually killed anything yet, however, but don't worry, that is soon going to change. It's around about now that his spider sense starts tingling. And down the centre of the road here comes a big fat stupid T-34. Backs away from the corner so the T-34 won't proximity detect him, and will come around the corner straight into the BL-10 gun. That was a very good damage roll, 842 damage, and then oh shit, a Tortoise. Tries to get in behind the T-34 and use him as cover. The Tortoise hits him anyway. T-34 misses from point blank range, kills the T-34. Tortoise fires into the flank, goes for the tracking shot, absolutely the right thing to do. He burns the repair kit to get mobile. He and the Tortoise immediately start face-hugging each other. Now, in a straight-up frontal shooting match, a Tortoise should be able to own an Object 704. It's a DPM monster. It has almost 3,400 damage per minute with that 120mm anti-tank gun. Better by far than the Object 704's 2,600. It's also got almost double the frontal armour. But it's not quite as well sloped and angled. And the Tortoise isn't even trying to angle his frontal armour and take advantage of his fantastic firing arc, almost 45 degrees to either side. Instead, he's pretty much facing Snakebite 3 head on, and so he's dead, and Snakebite 3 isn't. Bloody hell, Jingles, this is looking more like an epic win video than an epic fail video. Well, you could be forgiven for thinking so, because it does look like that. Until you take a look at the scores and realise that in the length of time it took him to kill the Tortoise, his team are now down to 4 tanks against 8. And he's sitting here on 65 health with another full health tank destroyer about to come around the corner. And he donks it into his tracks. Hello, Mr. T28 prototype. You thought this was going to be an easy kill, didn't you? That's just cost you half your health. Oh dear, your second shot bounced off his gun manlet. Well, now you're dead. What do you think of that? So, T28 prototype, Tortoise and T34 taken care of, they're not quite outnumbered 2 to 1 anymore, and for a very brief moment it looks like the team might be rallying as they pull another kill back. Snakebite getting a little bit stuck on the corner there, comes around the corner. You can easily penetrate the front of a Ferdinand with 286mm of penetration. Now, the Ferdinand did not actually spot him, but it's fairly safe to assume that he knows something with a really big gun just took a shot at him from this direction. And with only 65 health remaining, you don't want to go testing that 120mm of frontal armour if at all possible, so instead he comes around the other direction, and while he's doing that, the team loses one more tank and another tank, before he can attempt to pull the odds back by claiming a kill on a T-54 Mod 1. For a fraction of a second there, things were actually worse than being outnumbered 2 to 1. They were outnumbered 3 to 1. And as he's going for the shot at the ISU-152 in the middle of the field, his sixth sense goes off. He's been spotted. Enemy artillery is in play. He only has 65 health. And if you've been playing World of Tanks for any length of time, you know that artillery has dropped whatever they're doing and they're now trying to finish him off. And there it is. There's the artillery miss. And there's one of the artillery on the hill. And he's been spotted again, so that was absolutely the right thing to do. Now, this is where Snakebite 3 does something remarkably sneaky. At the moment, there's only 2 tanks left on the team. One of them is sitting there in the cap circle. Now, if he hadn't already been spotted heading towards the cap circle, and he had, it would make sense to assume that he would be heading for the cap circle to back up that lone surviving friendly tank. And so that's exactly what he doesn't do. Instead, he turns around and doubles back and is rewarded with a big old hit right in the flank of that Ferdinand. Is unlucky not to kill him. Now, of course, they know where he is. ISU-152 behind him, and his armour isn't going to save him this time. And that's the end of Snakebite 3's battle. But it's not the end of the battle. Do you remember that M53 that we saw on the hill earlier? Well, we're going to see some more of him in a moment. Here's the last surviving tank on his team, an Object 430 Mark II. He's not going to win by capping. ISU coming around the corner, desperate to finish him off, spots an AMX-12T backed up in a dead end. Well, if I can get a kill out of this, I'm going to get a kill out of this, he says. And he is going to get a kill out of this. But that's as far as he's got to go. Because he's now had his tracks blown off, he's immobilised, he's got no repair kit, and he's sitting in a dead end, 10 feet away from an ISU-152 with a BL-10 troll cannon pointing right at the side of his tank. Bend over, grab your ankles, and kiss your ass goodbye. Or not. Oh, but wait! Here comes the M53 artillery. Is he really going to take that shot? Even if he can hit the Object 430, with the ISU 152 right on top of him, a high explosive artillery shot at that kind of range is going to team kill the ISU as well. Is he really that desperate for a kill? Of course he is, Jingles, and friendly fire be damned. Well, he's going to get the friendly fire, but not quite in the way he anticipated, because his mass douchebaggery is equalled only by his gross incompetence. What's this? Yeah, you sucked. He actually hit the rock right in front of himself and team killed himself. And, well, the Object 430 managed to get a little bit more damage done before that one came to its inevitable conclusion. And if all of that wasn't epic fail enough for you, then just wait until you see the post-battle results screen, because that was a defeat for Snakebite 3 in a game where he did just short of 10,000 damage, and it's just not enough, is it? He quite clearly was not carrying his team hard enough. Oh man, I don't know what to say. You have my sympathies. And that is it, because I can't subject you to any more of this. That is it for today's epic fail video in World of Tanks. I hope you've, well, I hesitate to use the word enjoyed it. I hope you've been appalled by it, and you've probably been entertained by it because, well, you know what they say. Misery loves company. That's it for today, folks. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.